those voices cry. Little hearts left wondering why, in a system cold and blind. The dreams are hard to find, silent tears fall in the night. Hopes and fears kept out of sight, but we hear your whispered plea. You're not alone, just wait and see. CPS, the Punisher, Vinny, Danielle, and Gunner too. Herbert's here, we're standing strong, fighting just for you. Lost in the system, but not out of sight. Together we'll ignite your future shining bright. Every child deserves a home, not to feel so lost alone. We will raise our voices high, justice echoes in the sky. For every name, for every face, we're united in this chase. Breaking chains and righting wrongs, you belong where you are strong. CPS, the Punisher, Vinny, Danielle, and Gunner too. Herbert's here, we're standing strong, fighting just for you. Lost in the system, but not out of sight. Together we'll ignite your future shining bright. In the dark we'll be your light, stand and fight with all our might. For every child who feels unseen, we will be your guiding dream. CPS, the Punisher, Vinny, Danielle, and Gunner too. Herbert's here, we're standing strong, fighting just for you. Lost in the system, but not out of sight. Together we'll ignite your future shining bright.
In the heart of our great nation, where the strength of our communities is built upon the foundation of strong and loving families, an urgent crisis is unfolding. Child Protective Services, CPS, an institution designed to safeguard our most vulnerable, has in many cases betrayed its noble mission. Too often, families are torn apart not by neglect or abuse, but by systemic failures and corruption. We can no longer stand idly by as these injustices continue. We are here to give a voice to those who have been isolated, to shine a light on the corruption, and to rally our fellow citizens in this critical fight for justice. Every day, countless families are caught in a web of bureaucracy and abuse of power, their lives disrupted and their bonds shattered. Children, who should be nurtured and protected, are instead placed in situations that can be just as, if not more, harmful than the circumstances from which they were taken. Parents, often bewildered and powerless, face insurmountable odds as they fight to reunite with their children. This is not the America we believe in. We cannot allow these injustices to persist. Our mission is to educate, to inform, and to inspire action. We promise to bring you daily updates on CPS, exposing the truth and fighting for reform. We must remember that the future of our nation depends on the strength and unity of our families. By standing together, we can hold CPS accountable and ensure that it fulfills its true purpose, protecting children and preserving families. This is a fight we must not and will not lose. We are committed to saving our families and securing a brighter future for all. The road ahead is challenging, but with your support, we can make a difference. Together, we will bring hope to those who have lost it and ensure that justice prevails. Let us unite with unwavering resolve and a sense of patriotic duty to safeguard the integrity of our families and the future of our nation.
In the United States, CPS makes upwards of $3 billion per day on trafficking and selling our children. The corruption may start with the caseworker, but goes through the judicial system, passing the governor through the Senate and into the White House. The entire system has a hand in the business known as CPS.
Our children are stolen every minute of a 24-hour day. They are being robbed of their innocence, their trust, their happiness. As parents, we are isolated and betrayed by a government we trust. States are balancing budgets on kids' lives. Only 12% of the kids taken will be reunified. Title IV funding is being riveted with fraud.
AbolishCPS.com is leading the way. Join us.
And showcase even more why Substack is such an important resource.
Well, you all got fooled because it's not Darren. It's actually me right now. Darren's a little behind. He's stuck with an issue. He'll be joining us as soon as he can. But in the meantime, guys, it is Tuesday night. We are CPS Victims Fighting for Justice. So I have another guest backstage that he can pop himself out anytime he wants when he's ready. But I have Mr. Gunner with me tonight. So he's here with me. We're doing the show right now while Darren is indisposed. So yeah, guys, I just watched President Trump's speech. Got to see the Democrats get kicked out. That was hilarious. The little stupid signs that they had. These Democrats, they think that they're God's gift to people, and these are the people that have been ripping us off for years and years and years. Well, it's about time that they face the music, because I don't see them being reelected back into office next year. With that said, it was amazing what I seen. Our president gave an honor rule little boy, age of 13, a Secret Service award. He has his own badge and everything. He's always wanted to be a police officer, and to see Mr. President do that, that's very is inspiring. This boy has brain cancer, and to see our president do that for that young man makes a lot of things come forward. He also had Laken Riley's family there. They had, quite a few girls that have had things happen to them by the system, and it was awesome to see, guys. Tells you how much President Trump actually does love children, and he is fighting for us. Speaking of which, I think I will bring up that Doge is now on the trail of CPS and the foster care system. I've seen tons of posts today about it. I've seen it all over TikTok as well. So this is great news, guys. Trump told Doge to now go after CPS. So keep praying, guys. We're seeing momentum starting to pick up now on our favor. So hopefully we can get our babies home. They get rid of these corrupt court systems. They, even Gunner's got some big stuff that's going to be popping. And when that shit pops, it's game over. It's going to be a 1-2 fucking punch and out like a light.
When the rubber meets the road, when you get to the end of the gravel road and the rubber meets the road, you're going to realize one thing. You played fuck around and find out with the wrong motherfucker. And when everything starts to become public, and some of it in my area, actually, I'm starting to gain a lot of notoriety in my county and in my state with just the information we shared. And they're actually finding out a couple of other things. But, if you guys will remember, there's one thing we talked about that I had actually turned over information to the Department of Justice and the FBI that they got part of what I had, because I was still putting my personal stuff together. And like I said, it's a 2-part thing, but because of everything that's going on, they've opened several investigations using the evidence. They just don't have the crucial pieces yet. Trust me, if something happens to me, trust me, it will get to the proper authorities. There's plenty of people out there, but once all of this comes to light, and this is stuff I've been educating you guys on, the stuff we've been talking about, and It's just on a much larger scale. And there are so many rabbit holes when you take the time to do your history, your research, and not just in your federal case law, but I was always a history person. So I understand the very beginning of CPS, how it originated, the way it originated, how it got federal funding, when it got federal funding, and what the intent of it was originally. It wasn't until the Clinton administration and some of the others that they dumped all this money for, we'll call it adoptions or more in there. Once again, let's recognize a Democratic president dumped money in this that the states began to weaponize. Now, under the Chevron doctrine, they were considering themselves specialists, so there was a great opportunity to make money. In the
Oh, yeah, tons of
David
money.
Punisher show, they even had a guy that said, "What is the number one thing that people complain about is having no warrant to enter." Um, and the biggest thing is the corrupt court systems. Because if you have a constitutional rights violation and you go in and say they entered my house without a warrant, your judge, that state judge, does no longer have jurisdiction. And if they move on, it's a violation of their oath. That's what we're talking about when we talk about here on the show of corrupt judges that are not doing a constitutional audit of the case as they're required to do by law. And they're supposed to look for it. Hey, I notice you're in here, you're in the house, you're doing this, that. Where's your warrant? Where's your court order? The judges and magistrates have that power to ask that question. But there's the issue is they're turning the blind eye because they work for the state. And if they rub elbows with the state, now this is politics. If they rub elbows with state or state representatives or people in their county that work for the state, they are rubbing elbows politically, and it's for more money for your county. And they'll say, well, we're doing it for the good of the county. No, because the Constitution's not being followed. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, that a lot of what we've been preaching is actually sinking in. People are watching it. There's the video with the woman at the doctor's office that was sent through that somebody that was shown some of our videos is what I was getting back, and that she had watched a lot of information and bullshit and the corruption in the medical system with CPS and how they were doing that. And that really got around to a lot of mothers. That, hey, listen, they're taking your babies by giving you an epidural and then giving you a drug test. Of course they're in there. Look at the ingredients. I have several mothers right now. I think there's over 300 mothers right now. I think I was checking in. Somebody else picked that up that was listening that because we reported that, over 300 mothers so far that I know of were actually filing in federal court and suing the hospital for giving them the drug, because you have the right to go back to your doctor for whatever drugs they gave you, especially in the hospital, and ask them for the lot and batch number. And that's all you have to ask them for. And then you contact the manufacturer, whoever manufactured that drug. They are required by law to give you a list of ingredients of what's in there. And it's as simple as reading it off. And they found out it was true. Well, now they're getting so much far in that other video. You don't put your kid on ADHD medicines, or you don't listen to what your basically your big pharma doctor, your oil-based doctor, and you don't want to take and you don't want to use those. You want to do holistic. Well, guess what? You take your kid to a doctor now. They're saying if you don't listen to what I have to say or do what I tell you, I'm going to have to call CPS. And literally in that video says you don't love your child enough. No, it's my constitutional right on what I give my child, so long as they're healthy. Your diagnosis of this, no teacher complained, nothing like that. But here, let me write you this script for ADHD for your kid. What the fuck? When did doctors and somebody else get more authority than parents? I mean, something's fucked up, because that's unconstitutional. Yeah, I took and I actually didn't get to see all of it. I caught the tail end of the speech. I had company. Wife was here for a little bit, so she had to go back. So what time is her time? No matter what happens, I give her that priority. So I can always watch it later. Due to the wonderful things of technology, we can watch. We can all watch it again several different times.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
God, thank God for that part of technology. If we miss it, we really don't miss it.
It was, Stina, I gotta agree with you. They were pretty fucking babyish.
It's Listen, it's temper tantrums, and what we're talking about on the other side is a bunch of people that are just absolutely immature that do not want to come to the table, negotiate anything. It's my way or the highway, and it's a damn temper
Me
tantrum.
too, Herbert.
It's a temper tantrum, and this is so Here's the point: it's so disrespectful for the office, regardless of who's in there. You should support that office. If it's become that bipolar, then you've got the wrong people in Congress and the Senate. Because
Yeah.
if you can't even respect the office of the President of the United States and the fact that you're there to serve and represent your people, you have disgraced your people for the thing of that office, no matter who's in that office. And that's just the way it is. But that's just like this other
Yep.
thing, with all this bleeding heart liberal stuff. And you can talk all you want. You know who the number one supporter of social service programs like CPS and a lot of those other programs, who supports those? Democrats. You know which ones took and gave more funding that presidents that did it? President Clinton and Obama, two Democrat presidents. Democrats. Who's stealing your children? Democrats.
Yep.
I hate to say that, and there's probably some Republicans in there possibly too, if it could benefit them. But who's the number one thing of what? What does Democrats depend on? Creating a program to where they can get federal funding. Nothing to do with the state being completely independent and reliable, which I think you're going through this in Maine, Vinny, where they're having a damn hissy fit. Don't you dare cut off our federal money. We're entitled to it. Not if you're committing acts
Yeah,
of treason.
they think that they're entitled to it. They're not entitled to it.
And we had that guy, you showed his video that had been on the show before, that he was there, trying to advocate for a lot of these different
Mark
yeah,
Ludwood.
yeah. For a lot of those things. And I think what he was trying to explain is, listen, they can shave some stuff of waste in Title IV, but to get it actually removed, I love the fact he said it. It's an act of Congress. Now,
Yep.
here's the thing. You're right. You're not going to get it to go away. But what if you could prove in a court of law that the amount of money that's been tapped from every single state has been from fraud, because none of these cases should have ever been in court because there was a Fourth Amendment violation on every single case? That means you just defrauded the federal government. Guys,
That's grounds for removal.
that's enough for removal, and to get Congress to then push and everything else. Social Security reform, remove Title 4D funding. Well, here's the other thing. They'd all be cut off. You can't get none because you've been operating what? Unconstitutionally. And it's fraud. So when you commit fraud, you know what the penalty is? You're cut off.
Yeah.
And they have to.
Not only that, it's treason.
And there's a huge investigation. And when they find out the whole thing's a corrupt fucking system and how they've been getting these kids and what they've been doing over and over and over again, and then the judges not doing their fucking job and magistrates, and any of you want to take and test me, because I'll tell them exactly where to find the evidence on your ass, because I know exactly where it's at. And guess what, judge, magistrate? You looked at it. You looked right at it, and you did nothing. Now, that's okay in one case, but what happens when you have multiple cases? You do the same thing over and over and over again. How's your argument going to go that you did that to several families and several people, and almost every case you've handled, it's the same thing. Looks like you're working for CPS because you've been bought and paid for. Not? Then why weren't the constitutional rights upheld? Because some of those things are in your paperwork, but guess what? There's one thing that's in all paperwork and every judge has seen from the first time you ever set foot in court. That evidence was presented. And you know what? The judge looked at it. Then as you proceeded in your case and everything else, he looked at it again. And looked at it again and did nothing. Why? Because if it did what they're supposed to do, that's a change in jurisdiction. If you have a constitutional rights issue, is first you come in, hey, they came in with no warrant or anything else, you have to freeze. Even the first time you see that judge, I don't agree with your ruling. Why? I want a change of jurisdiction because we have a constitutional rights issue. You know how quick they'll push you out of there or dismiss your fucking case so you won't do a change of jurisdiction on them for a constitutional rights issue? They'll dismiss your case because they know that you've got them. Where's the court order?
CPS, get this shit. CPS is trying to say I'm threatening them by the motions that I've filed.
You're threatening them by the motions you filed.
And because I served the Miss Erin Koff, the AG, under color of law.
I'm telling you, dude, you just file that change of jurisdiction over to federal and you put it in and it'll flip them the fuck out. Because you've already basically done everything legal by putting them all on notice. You are clearly offended of what's happening. Now we're going to go to the root of it. We got a Fourth Amendment violation. Anything after that is what? Fruit from a poisonous tree. There ain't a federal court that will not kick that back. Every federal court will tell you that if a constitutional right's been violated, such as illegal entry, or you didn't read the Miranda, or anything else, or you didn't have the search warrant in hand signed by the judge with the seal and everything else to produce, even if it was a no-knock, you have to have a physical copy of it and serve it and show it. If there's anybody in the house, it's required by law. If not, that's an illegal search or seizure. Well, I've got it on my phone. That don't work. That don't work. I had one lady take a turn around, tell me they got her kids in the middle of the night and said, after hours, said, hey, I'm here to take all your kids and everything else. The judge just gave the order over the phone. And she goes, and there wasn't a thing I could do. But I said, yeah, you could have. When she set foot in your house and she didn't produce a warrant or anything else, and that judge didn't sign shit, I says, you know what that means? You have a right to defend your home. That's breaking and entering and kidnapping your children. When they don't have that stuff, that's exactly the fucking charge, and they're all felonies. But you got to notify it in the right jurisdiction. And that's what the first thing I think that guy was saying too. What's the first thing we see? No warrant. Okay, no warrant. What's that mean? Automatic change of jurisdiction. Why? Because the states don't have the power to hear constitutional cases. And you have every right that goes right past Rooker versus Feldman bullshit they're going to try and sell you. Well, we got to get past Rooker versus Feldman. Not for constitutional rights, you don't. Every court is subject to the federal courts for constitutional rights. 100%. Even family court, even civil court, divorce court, all those things must follow the Constitution. Must.
Yeah.
And that's what they're getting called out for. The good old boy system, you guys are getting ready to see all of it die here probably in the course of the next year. All gone. And then everything comes to light. Because if they find out that's how they've been doing these things, and oh wait, what's the old saying? It's not the fact that it's called hearsay, but when you can prove it and have the evidence of it, kind of changes things, doesn't it, folks? Hello, Tammy. Hello, Herbert. Hello, Athena. Let's see who else we have in here. Tammy, Athena. Yep, that's who we got in here. We got some quiets. Number 4. We're down to 4 now. We numbers up and down. Darren, hopefully he'll get a chance to join us this evening. But guys, it's all coming into place. This is a chess game. Piece by piece by piece by piece. They're sending in different things. DOGE is not just a waste management thing. It is a deep probe for criminal activity. And that's what they're showing by cutting the waste. It's also criminal. So crazy. But I think a lot of police officers too, Vin, I think are going to be really shocked when they actually come to find out, especially because they've been receiving training that's not even constitutional. I mean, they're being taught to coerce their way into a home. I mean, there's state handbooks and stuff for other CPSs that tell you when you have a difficult parent or somebody in the home, these are kind of your options. Call the police officer. Well, what's that going to do? It's a civil matter. And to gain entry in the home, that's intimidation. You're telling them, you're admitting to commit intimidation by having an officer show up to let them in the home. And I've heard several of them turn around. Well, I have to investigate this. This is part of my job, and it's directed by the state of this, and that, Tennessee, Texas, Alabama, Rhode Island, Maine. It don't matter. My job, this and that. Federal courts have already ruled the necessity to do an investigation does not trump your constitutional rights, any of them. Federal case law has already been established on that. They must abide, and they haven't. You don't believe me they ain't abiding? Look at what's going on up in Maine. And that's just the tip of the iceberg from what I'm hearing. Ain't it, Benny?
Yep.
I mean, you guys, and then Georgia, holy shit. Wow, the stuff they have in there. I mean, they put it just blatantly everywhere. Come in there with no search warrant. No, I mean, you wouldn't believe the state says that the shit that they can do. It's unfucking believable. There's no way that got passed. And if they did, somebody needs to get fired as the law librarian for that state. Somebody needs to get fired. Because I'll be dead honest with you. How the fuck did you okay that? I got the same question for all 50 states. How did this get through? Did nobody do a constitutional audit on any of this shit? Because damn, it don't take old Gunner. I mean, you've seen the evidence, Vinny. How long did it take me to find something? A couple pages. I started bam, 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 bam. And I ate that shit up.
So here's the funny part about that, though. By law, okay, what they don't really tell a lot of people. By law, you are supposed to serve your motion on the plaintiffs or the defendant. You are supposed to serve that motion on them before you serve it to the judge. Mm-hmm. So how is it a threat if I'm obeying and following law?
You're not. Because they're talking about statutes and limitation, and you simply turn around. That's why it says in here, and that's the thing where people are saying we're trapped in a corporation, because these states can only do things under contract law, or they're only supposed to be dealing with commerce. It's the only way that they're supposed to be dealing with this shit, not about people's lives. That's only in criminal court when a crime has happened. Civil is contract law. It's property. How is your family property? That's what I want to know. And if there's no crime, and this is the other thing, they're accusing you of child abuse and all this other stuff. Those are criminal acts. Those aren't civil. They have a criminal classification. And then a lot of states, they'll take and do some really shanky shit. You'll be in civil court and they'll hit you with a criminal class thing. Well, wait a minute. If you're going to hit me with something criminal, even in civil, I have a right to a jury. Oh, shit. Go ahead. Let that slide by where they fucked up. Well, we can put a criminal thing on that. It's a civil thing. Yeah, you're right. But it also means I got a right to a trial by fucking jury, not administrative law. You can't do that. It's illegal. It's unconstitutional. So if you've got a case where they have a criminal thing on you and you're going through that, where's my trial by jury? This is a criminal classification you're seeking on me. Then that means I need a trial by jury. And anything you've done up to this point is unconstitutional and illegal. You put them on notice. Then you change jurisdiction and you clusterfuck them and you break it off in their ass. Hey, Jonathan. Ben, I'll let you have the floor for a second. Water pills just kicking my ass for a minute. Ah!
Yeah. Always water pills, huh? So, yeah, guys, this is interesting shit what they're trying to pull and say I am threatening them. Like, please.
That's what they're saying. We're threatening them.
They're saying we're threatening them. It's not a threat. Read your document. It's emotion. It's written that way. It's emotion. If you can't understand emotion and you can't understand that you are in violation of constitutional rights that are protected rights and that your court does not have the authority to rule on TPRs, which they're going to know because if they won't let us have the continuance and we have to go in for the hearing, I'm going to look right at that judge and I'm going to say, excuse me, Your Honor, you lack subject matter jurisdiction. You do not have the authority to rule on a TPR. You're an Article 1 judge, which gives you no authority. That simple.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, if some of our viewers don't know, basically, before I got involved with CPS, I was already diagnosed with congestive heart failure. My heart was at 45, 46, 47%. After going through everything I went through with CPS, I have less than 14% left of my heart. That's how much because of the stress and everything else. Now, some people say, oh, well, you've got this issue, that. No, all my pipes are clear. I have no plaque, no bondages, anything. It's just a defect or a side. It was possibly a side effect of a medicine that I had to have. The one time I almost died and saved my life. It was flesh eating disease. They had me on the medicine for flesh eating disease for over 7 days. And then after that, I ended up with the congestive heart failure issue. So there might have been something with the virus or whatever it is. I don't even know if they diagnosed what it was that I contracted, and but eventually I ended up with heart failure. While I was doing my best with my diet and everything else, family was happy. A lot of good choices, exercise. I mean, we were maintaining. CPS came in and just destroyed and just pulverized everything that they do, and it was so much stress on my heart that I actually had to have a pacemaker defibrillator put in because I ended up taking and coding out a couple times while I was in the hospital. Um, with it, they've given me many different medicines. So yeah, I take those water pills because I have issues with. I now have issues with shedding water. My body doesn't process the water out like it does, and it wants to retain it. So yes, you have to have those water pills to kind of get rid of that excess and shed that water. Um, Going through the medications and everything you have to do with that, it's a lot of figuring out what works for you and trying to find a way to be back somewhat to normal and live somewhat sort of a quality of life. But at the same time, when I was going through a lot of that too, with that, I was doing the research for all 50 states, and the amount of evil and things I seen and encountered that just turned my stomach, from a legal aspect, from a constitutional aspect of all 50 states. The things I would read, and some of you guys have seen that research, and it just turns your stomach that it's that bad that it's almost like it's worse than Nazi Germany. It's worse than China with the way they write these things to say that they have a right to do. And they don't. And they're actually doing this to families. And you're seeing the videos on TikTok when TikTok came out of this is what's happening in my state. And it's so blatant, the constitutional rights violations in almost, I mean, I could just count the violations watching some of those videos. I mean, you're looking at this and this and this. I mean, they just continue to go on, which is why being educated is so important to know this. And the one thing that this is where the failure of public education does this. We should know what an actual warrant looks like properly before we graduate high school. We should know what a court order looks like, what's legal, what's not, taught in your high school. I mean, that's part of your judicial branch of government that one time or another we're all going to encounter, whether it's trying to do a ticket, or you're in divorce court, or somebody's going to collections, or this that. You need to understand that process. You're supposed to, as part of a good citizen. But the schools have failed because that wasn't the thing. But they can definitely, Benny, they can definitely identify as a fucking goddamn cat, dog, pronouns, different, all this other fucking bullshit. Why is that even in our damn schools when they don't even know their damn rights or the Constitution? I mean, and they are collecting federal funds. This is why Trump wanted them shut down. You're not teaching the Constitution. You're not teaching calligraphy, which is also cursive. They don't know how to read these documents. I had to teach my son, my wife, and I actually had to go back with my son. He's a senior, didn't know how to do cursive. So we had to teach him cursive at home. And it's like, well, they told us we would never use it. I said, dude, it's part of your signature when you sign something. You can't print that shit. You have to sign it. I said, that's still required on all legal documents. Now they're going to make you incompetent. You can't even sign a legal document graduating from high school. Yeah, that's exactly what they did. I mean, come on, guys. How much more of this are we going to take? That we're paying this in teachers, and then they're bitching and moaning about, I need a raise, I need this and that. Why don't you teach something? Why don't you get these board members and wipe them out? Or how about you just pull your kids out of school and do private teaching, homeschooling, unschooling? I don't have 8 hours a day. That's a fucking lie. My wife homeschools. She's done an hour and a half, 2 hours with book work. The rest of it is learning in our real world with real world experience, measurements, how they apply, and all this other stuff. So I don't get it, but what's the number one thing that CPS hates? You know who they target? Homeschoolers. Why? Because they teach the Constitution, and we can't have that. And who's that all paid for and done by? The Democratic Party. That's who's putting these social programs in there. And who's in there? You don't believe me? Go look at your state and see what political alliance the head of your CPS or DSS or anything else for your state is. They swing Democrat, every single one of them, in all 50 states. What's that tell you? Corrupt, enslave the people. It ain't the other party. It ain't. And that's the funny thing. Benny, look up your state. Who is the head of CPS in your state of Maine?
Bobby Joe Johnson. She's a Democrat.
Yep. Let's see. And
a big close friend with Janet Mills.
Margie Quinn, Democrat. Oh, look. We seen the pattern here, people. But who's not standing or going for these cutbacks or all this waste and this, that? We are defunding the Democratic Party. Did you see what they uncovered? I mean, with all the spending, and these were going right into political funds. I mean, come on. You're defunding all of our projects. You don't have this and that. We don't have all this money, and let alone the stuff that they were charging. I mean, they were just, they got access to a bank account. They just went nuts, and when it run low on money, they go back saying, hey, we're running out of money. Fill it up again. And then you know what would happen? Next year, we need to budget for more. Why? Because they needed more. We got to make the same supply. We went over. That's how overages happen in our government. Guess who's causing it? Social programs. Who's the only ones in anything else? Ain't Small Businesses Association, representative for the state, or anything else. It's what? We need more social programs. We need more social money. We need more. I don't know. I'm a little old school, Vinny. I was taught, actually, when you became an adult, you learn to wipe your own ass. I mean, those that couldn't, there's medical reasons, anything else, that's fine. But I was always brought up, when you became big, you learned to wipe your own ass. You didn't need somebody to wipe your ass with you all the time. So why is it that these things are absolute failures? If these social programs are absolute failures, or even to the point they're almost racist in some places. I mean, I can tell you from personal experience. One time, there was, I think I got hurt or something like that, and we was in a different state. Um, we were actually, we went down to fill out because we needed a couple months to kind of get by. We were a small family, barely getting by, some sickness and hell, and we were just in need. And went down to try and fill out some stuff for, at the time, it was a food stamp program before it was SNAP. And literally the lady there told my wife at the time, you can't get food stamps, you're white. What? You're white, you don't get food stamps. That's in the Chicagoland area. The color of my skin means I don't get social programs. No, you're white. You can get anything and everything you need. You're white. White privilege. They were taught this to reject people because of white privilege. No. What's that got to do? We're having rough. We've got a newborn. We're just asking for a little help. That's what these programs are for, right? Nope, you're white. You don't qualify. But we don't have this and that. We don't meet the threshold. It don't matter. We're gonna flush you out. Couldn't get help. But
I got to touch on this just even a little bit more, because this is going to irritate me. Okay, they can sit there and say, "Oh, he's threatening us with motions," right? But at the start of this case, they threatened my wife over and over again with taking our children unlawfully.
Intimidation.
That's a threat, CPS. So when you threaten to take someone's child, and you threaten their mother, and you threaten my wife, you best bet I am coming for your asses.
That's intimidation to
on
contract.
A meat hook.
And that's covered in federal case law too. They cannot intimidate you with things like, if you don't cooperate, we'll take your kids. Same thing happened in my case. If you don't sign this contract, we're going to take your kids. She even testified. Here's where the judge fucked up and rest of them. She even testified. I signed under duress. If I didn't do it, he said he was going to take my kids. Then he forged my name to it. So technically, we don't have a contract with the state at all. Because under contract
I don't
law,
either. I never signed their contract, so I have no contract.
And if CPS is
so for
supposed
them
to be
to even
voluntary in every
come at me
state,
the way
right?
they're
Well,
right, and for them to come at me the way they are, and I tell that judge, excuse me, Your Honor, I never contracted with these people. I never signed an agreement. I never signed a safety plan. And they removed me from a home without a court order or warrant. What do you think he's going to say to that?
Federal judge is going to have an absolute goddamn conniption. Let alone if you say Fourth Amendment was come up, then we're how it started. Why am I even in court? Because if you did a constitutional audit, judge should have turned around and said, how'd you get in the house? Where's your court order? Where's your warrant? I don't see anything before me, Mr. So-and-so from CPS. Eminent danger. Okay, right. Cops were called, right? Eminent danger is what you're claiming, right? Did you call 911 or police assist? No. Well, one, that's against national regulations for you to not do that, because that means you can't get any federal money on this case. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's the rules they have to play by. There's certain things federally if they must comply with. Otherwise, they're not supposed to be getting the federal funds, which they are getting, which is fraud. Every bit of it. Now, a federal judge hears this shit, half of this shit going to go fucking nuts. Because then it's up to the state. When you file for that Fourth Amendment violation, it then puts pressure on CPS and the state to produce those documents. And if they don't have them and they can't produce them, guess what? It's Fourth Amendment violation. And yes, fruit from a poisonous tree does apply. Case dismissed. That's exactly what you're going to get from the federal jurisdiction, because that's the law. And that's what they don't want to tell you. But a judge is supposed to recognize that, or a magistrate, when they hear a constitutional rights violation, such as a Fourth Amendment or anything else. One, they've lost jurisdiction and they know it. In my particular case, the one magistrate actually turned around and told me, we don't deal with constitutional rights issues in this courtroom. But he never said, I just lost jurisdiction because we have a constitutional rights issue and we can no longer proceed in this case. I don't have jurisdiction. I can't even rule. I can't do shit. I can't put a restraining order in. I can't do shit because we have a Fourth Amendment. I can't file shit. But he did. And it was the noise I made from the very beginning. Nobody listened. And come to find out procedurally, several different things they didn't do. And it's one violation after, I mean, you know, bits and pieces of my case, Vin. They just kept adding them the fuck up. Anything and everything they could do wrong, they did. And that's what's going to take. And I know that's a lot of them. People do it, but looking at it constitutionally, they're fucked. Fucked. And there's all sorts of people, like I said, getting more popular here in my area. People are starting to listen. They're realizing it's part of the same thing. And then they're like, well, what do we do? Or what, you know, we're clueless. And this is happening across the nation, and right here in our own backyards. There's families being destroyed, and not up until more recently, they're all starting to wake up. They've got little support groups and this and that, but that's about it. Nobody's got answers. How do we fight? What do we do from here? Well, did you not know that you could go to federal court? Well, no, they said it doesn't deal with family law cases. Yeah, but constitutional rights do. Ain't that the first thing that you were telling me about was the Constitution, how they violated your rights? Because you and I had a quick conversation. I guarantee you they violated at least 5. I says, it ain't hard to prove, because that's the first thing you're going to have to do in a court of law. Prove it. Oh, it's going to be fun when all this kicks off, Vinny. I'm gonna love it. I've got a freedom heart on. Freedom whistle. Freedom boner. You know what they call it?
Yeah.
Listen, man, listen, man, this country's fucked up. I mean, even attorneys are turning around and saying this is just trash. Where's our Constitution? I mean, even new ones coming out. This isn't right. This is unconstitutional. What the hell? Well, it's just the way we do things around here. And that's how they're taught and mentored. Not to do the right thing. Because the judges ain't doing the right thing. Sheriff's office ain't doing the right thing. And the time of accountability is coming. And guess what? You've been weighed, you've been measured, and you will be found wanting. That much I can guarantee. And when this all comes out, everybody's going to go, what the hell? And then they're going to ask the question, how did we let it get so bad? Because we were scared, and it was sold under the bill of it's for the children. And it's the same motherfucking flag they're flying today. How fucking dare you, you sick fucks.
No, they'd rather fly that friggin' pride flag.
Hey, listen, when you're willing to kidnap a child because it says and identifies transgender, I'll bet you any amount of fucking money that kid went to a public school. And every damn time, there's a teacher, and that's the teacher that's doing the reporting. Guys, your kids are in danger in public schools. Because now they have teachers, calling in CPS, hey, this kid's transgender, and her parents are totally against it, and this, that, and, they're extra special or trans or whatever it is that they're in there. And these are the people that are in your school systems and teaching your kids this shit with the pronouns and all this other fucking bullshit. That's not what school's for. Reading, writing, arithmetic, history. That's it. Clean and clear. You keep your politics out of that classroom, especially for children. Politics has no place in the classroom. None. Not all the way up to high school. When they turn 18 and college, great. Pull that bullshit all you want. We have universities all over the place that swing one way or the other. So, I mean, there's got to be something that's going to change, because here's the thing, guys. As far as civil wars, we're way overdue for civil war or civil restructure. Every 200 years, a country usually goes through it, and we are way overdue. Something had to break, because the road that we were on, we were leading to civil war, the bloody kind, and it wasn't fun. Had probably Trump not been elected, I would have say, and everything that did come out, even towards the end, and it still didn't happen. I believe they were scared shitless that they probably ought to let them in. If not, they're going to have a full-on war, and then they're really going to lose. Why? Because them motherfuckers don't know how to shoot guns, fight, anything else. Come on. These are a bunch of damn, people that, come on. They want you to feel for them. That's all they can do. There ain't no physical anything. As soon as you do it, they fucking roll up in a ball and want a safe place. Oh, wait, we declared those, didn't we?
Oh, he had a cough.
Yeah.
Guys, I need to get off here soon because I got to go to bed. And I don't see Darren getting on yet, so I don't know how far he was, where he was.
I don't know how things got caught up. So,
yeah, no, I don't tell Darren's business on here.
no,
That is his
it's
business.
you want me to wrap up the show then, if you're going to head out? Or you want to wrap it, or you want to keep going, or we're close to time limit?
We can, yeah, we're close to time anyways. So guys, stay tuned for tomorrow's shows. I think we have a couple. We have Brenda's show. And I think we have a couple others, not too sure. I know we got Tiffin the Punisher. And we have the night show. I don't know who's in between right now because the schedule's still kind of up in the air. We haven't got everyone's.
Trying to work out some stuff.
Stay tuned. Yeah. Stay tuned for the rest of the shows, guys.
Guys, watch out for scams out there, man. Right now, with the way things are going, don't be caught up in a lot of scams, because there's a lot of people scamming people that are playing that they're advocates. They're not even certified to be advocates, taking money from people. I mean, there's always somebody looking, another fucking bottom feeding scum addict looking to take people's money and not doing a lot of things. It's happening a lot, especially with people trying to fight CPS and doing a lot of this. Be careful, be wary. Listen, if it's there's always an old saying, if it's too good to be true, it's probably not. There's a big difference, a lot of hype and a lot of this. I know a lot of that's going on, but hey, there's Darren,
our fearless leader.
But
I've made it once again.
But just keep wary of yourselves. That's out there with a lot of scams. If something don't sound right, like I said, too good to be true, it probably isn't. Listen, this is going to take a lot of
Gunner.
Sure.
If it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah.
Not
There you
isn't. Is.
Yeah. So
right.
Just be careful for what you're doing, because some people are being taken. So be careful. There are predators taking advantage of families. They're not all predators, but guys, vet them really good, please. Don't get taken advantage of. Just wanted to put that out there for a lot of our viewers, because just keep your head on the shoulder. There's a lot going on, and things are moving fast.
We got enough power here that we can help you out if you need issues. There's no reason to seek out. And I mean, I understand that anybody will do anything to get their kids back, but you know what? If you guys hear something from someone, then run it by one of us, because chances are good we know the people, or we know of them or something. So use us as that. That's what we're here for. We're not here trying to tear you from your last dollar. We're not here trying to suck you dry. We're not here for any of that stuff. We're just here to try to all of us work together to get our kids back. And, like we just kind of saying, look, we'll lead the way, hopefully, and then this will happen. But, if you guys stumble onto something that you think is amazing, what, get in touch with us. Let us check it out with you. And you know what? Maybe they are amazing, and maybe it is great, so go for it. But maybe just to help you guys out, let us know. Let one of us email us something, check something out for you.
Because I'll tell you what, guys, Darren is being the producer of this and Benny is the manager. Their pay really sucks because we don't get shit. So, guys, we do this all free because we're with you. We want to educate you. We want to do the best for you. We want you to use, every case is different. We want to share that information so you have the ability and knowledge to fight for yourself and be your own advocate. And hopefully enough that you're serious enough to go pro se, sue juris, to represent yourself in a court and get yourself out of this without sucking your dollars dry, because then it's just your time and your energy. You're not paying an attorney by the hour. If it's extremely complicated, find somebody you trust. But please educate yourself to the best of your ability. Is all we're asking.
Oh, listen, this is our channel. I started this thing a long time ago with Herbert. I started it for myself, and Herbert was there right with me from the beginning. I built this for all of us, every one of us here. Like, there's nobody over somebody else. This is all you guys that watch this show, all of you guys that tune in and watch with us. This is our channel, our show. So, we're all part of this thing. So don't ever feel like just because you're not hip here showing your beautiful faces that you're not, you're not equal. You absolutely are. This is our shows, our channels, and we're going to do this together, all of us. We're going to pack it up.
Yeah. No one person, no magical this and that is going to do this. It's going to be.
I'm just kidding. I'm the best at this, and I'm the one that owns everything. So I'm just kidding. I'm just.
Listen, guys, to bring down CPS and to do everything it's going to take a collective thing, and our stories need to be heard because the public needs to be aware of what's going on. So don't be quiet in your circles. Call out the corruption. Call out the bullshit. I mean, you're just calling out truths. I mean, in your experience, nobody can tell you that it didn't happen, because why? It happened to you. There was an old saying somebody told me, said, a man with an experience is never at the mercy of a person with an argument, because you can never change what that person experienced ever. You can't tell them different. So keep that in mind. Keep your head up high. If you're having things with suicide, please talk to somebody, get some help. Make sure to share the channel here as well as our other show. Yeah, all of them. I mean, trying to cover everything. Hit the like and follow. Share us out to everybody in all of our channels. We've got a little taste of everything on this platform, which is really good. I'm thankful to be part of there and the team. Everybody's got a little taste of something different on here. If you look at this network, which is the great diversity of it, gives quite a few different aspects and viewpoints, which is great. I love the diversity.
Yeah, we got Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis is now hanging with us, I guess. That's the newest addition to this. So, I mean, I know a lot of people, whatever people can think what they want to think and have their own opinions, and we all appreciate the opinions thing. But you know what? The guy's out here and he's fighting front lines and he's doing what he's doing and he's offered his.
Yeah.
So we're going to give it to him back. And you know what, guys? We actually have a real CPS lawyer now that we can say that we have access to. You know what I mean? So, if you guys have questions and stuff, check his stuff out, because I know that he's got, consultations. He's got all kinds of stuff going on. But that's a real attorney that's, now here. So we're growing. We're getting bigger. And we welcome any other attorneys that we can get. Any real CPS attorneys really, are willing to come in here and share their whatever with us. Please do that, because we need that. We need more attorneys on here with us. We need some more, in fact, people that can actually set us all straight, because none of us are lawyers. Mm-hmm. We're all doing this for entertainment anyway. Make sure that you check everything that we say too. But I'll say I know for a fact, and I can pretty much speak for everybody else, is when we do say something, it is a matter of fact. But check that stuff out yourself, just to be sure, and be cautious about everything anybody says. But we've all talked about this. We promote it in our meetings and everything, that we need to make sure that everything that comes out of our mouth is truth, because you guys are believing in us, believing in what we say and how we're saying it, and so on. So we won't lead you astray. because we do care about making sure everything's true and as a fact, not like a lot of these other people that are around. And Deidre too. Yes, Deidre, she's with us too now. She's also she's got her show on Wednesday nights. Her show on the Davis channel, but it's also here on the Tiff and Punisher show at 8 o'clock. Are you a CPS victim like me? So we'll be seeing more of Deidre. Oh, and Athena, and I think Deidre too, will be co-hosting with me on the Tiff and Punisher show on Thursday. So Athena's going to jump in with her boots on, and she's going to try this out. Tiff's out for her NAACP meeting. So I offered it up to everybody, and somebody, I don't remember who it was, but they nominated Athena, and she gladly she took that spot. And Deidre's happy to get in there with us too, so I might throw her on the ballot. Hi, Tammy. Yes, we did, Deidre. We were wait. You know what? You want to see a funny thing about me and Deidre and Mr. Davis? Way back. Watch this. I'm gonna play something for you guys. Real quick.
Lord, somebody's getting ratted out.
This would be funny.
My tablet's about to die. I got 2%, guys.
All right, Benny. We'll see you later, buddy.
Bye, Benny.
See you.
Have a good night.
Yeah, hold on. Let's see. This here. Let's see. View my channel. Shorts. My clips. And thank you, everybody. Hey, what does everybody think? Do you think when I go to the channel, I should get rid of the, I have the video on there that says, hello, everybody. And it's the AI guy and it's my voice. It's not my voice, it's someone else's, but it's talking and it does that whole presentation that I came up with.
Yeah.
Gunner?
Anyone? I like that new
yes.
one that you had come out of me. If you're looking to rotate one or in or out.
Well, that's what I'm getting at here.
I'm definitely keep it fresh and rotate some stuff, man. I mean, that's what keeps everything crisp.
Well, this dude I told him to check out the channel, and he looked and he said, "Oh, it's all AI. I'm all set." And I'm just wondering if that makes everybody else think that it's AI and they don't want to pay attention to the channel. So I'm just curious what everybody else's input is. Put it down in the comments. All right, here we go. Check this out. All right, here we go. Check this out. This is one of my favorite moments with DJ and
it's creepy sounding. Deidre said your AI is creepy.
What's so funny? That's why they took him, because of neglect.
All right, here we gotta watch it from the beginning. Ready?
Yeah.
You see it, Gunner?
Yeah. Hit your maximize screen on that screen, so we don't have all the other stuff on the screen. So when it decides it wants to come up, I gotta do the same. I gotta do the same thing on mine. I just don't have multiple screens.
Yeah, you're not in here like me. There we go. All right.
Listen here, my office, when I had my company and everything, I was fully decked out to work digitally. So, I mean, I had like 5 or 6 monitors.
Oh man, this is killing me, man. Watching this.
They're slowing your speeds down again, bro.
Come on.
Why did CPS away from you in the first place?
Oh, the chronic neglect. In Nevada, because they saw my husband's motorhome, and I didn't live there, and they said that we lived in a place that had no running water, no this, no that. And I said, I live in Utah. I was just visiting his dad. I lived in Utah. And then I even got in front of me the what's so funny? That's why they took him, because of neglect. Of not that. And I was just with my husband for 2 days in that motorhome.
Why did CPS take your kids away from you in the first place?
Oh, the chronic neglect. In Nevada, because they saw my husband's motorhome, and I didn't live there. And they said that we lived in a place that had no running water, no this, no that. And I said, I live in Utah. I was just visiting his dad. I lived in Utah. And then I even got like in front of me what's so funny? That's why they took him, because of neglect of not that. And I was just with my husband for 2 days in that motorhome.
That was one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite moments with us, man.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh man. Anyway, that's funny, right? That woman just wouldn't answer the question. I don't know where the hell I went over here in my picture.
It's very typical. Some people get so hyper focused on, they've just got to tell you this part of the story, and I just want you to answer the fucking question.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's exactly what it was. She just wouldn't do it, man.
So what was it originally for? What was this? It's, I had this and I had this. I don't need all the fucking details.
Yeah, that was it. Mr. Davis just wanted to know the simple question, and man, she just wouldn't do it, man. She's just sitting there and going all around and talking about this.
Well, there's a psychological term for that called regurgitate. They have so much pent up, like you have to throw up, that they have to all of it to somebody as quick as they can, hoping somebody will listen. But the problem is because you've done that, you overwhelm the listener with so much stuff, but you also turn off your fucking hearing, because all that matters is the regurgitation. You're throwing up so violently, basically your ears are plugged. Yeah. And that's exactly what you've seen there.
Yep. Oh man, it was funny though. That was
answer the fucking. I mean, I'm sitting in the goddamn courtroom like that, like blah 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 blah. I might answer the fucking question.
Answer the question. Oh man,
Your Honor, direct the person to answer the question. It was simple, yes or no, and you go on a tangent. Your Honor, can you please instruct the witness? Shut the fuck up.
Right.
And answer the question.
I'll tell you. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Tamil says go to talk to Dwight Mitchell. Is Dwight Mitchell indeed still around? Is he okay? Because I knew there was for a minute there that there were some questions to whether or not he was.
Guys, listen. As people that are out here doing this, and I know advocates and everything else, that is the shit we go through all the time with people, that when you want to get to the simple, even when I was in the beginning trying to get people, listen, when you file your federal suit, keep it just about your constitutional rights and nothing about family court. And then everybody goes, well, I filed it, and then they kicked it back. And then they send it over and look at it. And I'm like, do you not fucking listen? Keep all your feelings out of it. Keep it just about real nice and tight about the constitutional rights violation, how you see it's a violation, and quote the case law. It's just that fucking simple. Instead, you get, well, I've got to downsize this because my federal filing is 30 pages long. For constitutional rights violations, 3 pages most. If you're lucky, and that's with the last fucking page signed and documented and stamped and all that other shit. What the fuck?
Judge don't have all day.
They're gonna look at that
Have all day.
that fucking thing, and he's gonna read the precursor or the summary, and he's gonna look at it and go, fucking denied. Why? Because you didn't polish it, and then they can claim Rooker versus Bellman and all this other. You didn't keep it just about your constitutional rights violations. And it's 90% of the time why your case gets kicked fucking back from the federal courts. I hear it all the time. Hey, it got kicked back. You said all I had to do was file. Yeah, fucking properly. Yeah, fucking properly.
And people, there is a there is a standard to that, all that, the typing, everything. There's a whole set of standards and margins. Here's type size, type font, everything, guys. It's not just, there's a reason that lawyers get paid the big bucks. And I'm not trying to talk about getting lawyers and everything, but if you're going to do it, then you got to do it the right way. You need to follow the rules because the court,
and
right, the court
the
still
right
stands as
fucking
the court.
courtroom too, damn it. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you over in trust and wills and this and that? Why did you file it under that? Well, you said just file it federally. Oh my God, it's a civil rights issue.
Listen, use the clerks, court clerks, your allies. They will tell you what you have to do. Right. They can't tell you the law. They can't tell you how to practice the law. But what they can tell you is where to file it, how to file it. I send my stuff right to this guy, Matt Pollock, right here in the state of Maine. I send it to him. He's the head of clerks, and he takes care of it for me because I've developed such a good relationship with him. But that's the same relationship that you're supposed to have with all of everybody. And that's
called networking. In the business world, we call that networking. That's utilizing, you don't have to know everything, but you know a guy that does, or a girl that does, so to speak, gal that does. You don't have to know everything. You're right. But when you combine with several other people and you network, now you're a force to be reckoned with. If I'm really good at this, and Vinny's good at this, and Darren's good at this, and we all put all of our heads together and do this and that, you got a lot stronger force. Why? Because a cord of 3 is not easily broken, right? Or more. Is that not true? Now, 2 cords that still can snap, but a cord of 3 or more, and people don't remember that old saying, a cord of 3 or more is not easily broken. In other words, it's going to take something. It's going to take a good tugging. But doing stuff alone, that's what's so rough, and people not having the skill. And I look at it from a business aspect. How many people either don't realize they're naturally networking, or the fact that they have no networking skills whatsoever, cannot utilize their resources, one or the other. And I see this in the business world, and I've seen it in the religious world. I've seen it in several different scenarios, and it's the same thing every time, every fucking time. You're either one or the other. And the people that do network very well, those are the people getting shit done. The popular real estate person, not really popular, but the person that knows how to network, the real estate person that knows how to network, get things done for their clients fast, make a quick buck, this and that, and then streamline it. Oh, they do business all day long, and it's just churning out money. Because why? They have a path. And it goes for just about any profession that goes out there. You've got to have a business plan for it. And you've got to network, because you're going to need it. Just because you're a specialist in your business, do you know how many times you're going to need a fucking lawyer as a business owner? Oh yeah, we had to deal with fucking law shit all the time. Client not paying, goes into collection. Okay, somebody trying to sue us, or we had to sue somebody, or something in a civil matter. Okay, real simple. You got to have a lawyer. You can't walk in there by yourself. You have to have an attorney, because you're a business. Individuals can represent themselves, but once you're in the business part, it's completely different. You're going to need friends. You're going to need friends that know CPA, that know taxes, business taxes especially. They're completely different. All sorts of stuff that you're going to have. But the more you can network and do it the right way, not use people, let's put it that way, because there are people that will abuse networking. That's people that will use people for what they want and then leave them. Yeah, those people exist. I'm sure everybody's dealt with them. We'll use you and I'll never hear from you again. That's not networking. Networking is a constant resource you can depend on. A friend that knows how to do this. You got a buddy that does auto mechanics. I mean, somebody, it's your go-to person, the person you trust. There's a lot of those things out there, but you got to learn to network. And people that network well, like what's his name that Vinny and I were talking about earlier, that's doing we showed the video, it was on the show, Logan.
highways and
or something.
busy.
He knows how to network.
Who?
He's a great networker. Hey, I know this person. Hey, I know that person. Hey, I know this. That's networking. And that's the important. And that's what they don't want us to do. Fighting against CPS is networking. Because when we all come together,
That's
shit,
right.
we bring everybody in there.
Yep.
All that knowledge.
They want us fighting against each other.
They want you defeated.
They want us to fight against each other.
Mentally defeated.
Yes, sir.
But you know what?
Well, we can't let that happen.
We ain't taking that shit no more. You've been getting away with it for 34 years.
No.
You've been getting there. Guess what? Now it's time of accountability. That's just like, did you watch that meeting on the Chicago mayor? Did you catch a glimpse of that?
I did not.
Oh my God.
No, I haven't been.
People called him out and said DOG's coming for you, to the mayor of Chicago.
Oh, geez.
And said they're coming for your corrupt ass. You overspent all our money that was supposed to go towards us, the residents, and you spent over half of our money on illegals. Calling out the mayor for spending city money on illegals, not their people or their streets, over half of their budget, and still asking for more.
Right.
And the people are like, why are they still here when you can't take care of us with the money you've got? That's embezzlement. We didn't agree to this. Oh, the people are speaking up. We didn't vote on this. You made a dictatorship call, Mayor, to allow this.
Hey, you know what you get when you cross a penis with a potato?
What's that?
A dictator.
Yeah. Dictator. Am I heard?
What do you say, Gunner? You ready to call it a wrap?
Yeah.
And I'm going to call you in about 10 minutes because I got to go over this with you. All right?
You want to just meet back here?
What's your last word?
Meet back here? Or you want to call?
Yeah, what's your last word?
Last word?
No, I'll call you. Yeah, let's do last words.
No, learn your constitutional rights. Learn how to take and operate in court so you know what's happening in court and you're not bamboozled. Yes, there are policies and procedures that the judge must follow, the district attorney, CPS, all of these people have rules. One thing that is never broken is your constitutional rights. Their need to investigate or their need to anything does not triumph your rights in any means. And when they do, hold them accountable, nail their ass to the wall, and take them for every damn thing they got. And then go get your kids back.
Hell yeah. All right. And I know I jumped in late. I was a little bit busy with the blue and black and whites or whatever they call. They try to mess with me a little bit there. And, well, here I am. But nonetheless, sorry I was late, and I apologize for that. But I'm going to go on what they were talking about. Please do your research on advocates, people. Don't just jump in. Don't believe what people are saying just right away. Make sure you do your own research, do your own looking up, do your own everything on these things. Don't just grab a hold of something, think that's what it is. And especially don't go out there, just start handing out money to these people thinking that they're going to save you. And anybody that guarantees you that they're going to get you your kid back, that's a hoax. Don't ever, 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 ever pick someone that's done that, because that's just a blatant lie to you. And they're just pulling on your heartstrings. So be very careful of who you choose to work with when you advocate. And like we said, you can check us out, make sure, contact us and we can do the looking at it for you, or maybe we even know or heard of it. So make sure you guys do that, because it's not fair what some of these people do to try to prey on us that have lost our kids. Because we're what they call easy money, because we will do anything that it takes, in any price, anything to get our kids back. So just, work with the wearics. Not everybody's out there with their best interest like we are. So on the CPS Punisher, we are out of here. Have a good night, everybody.
The world getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. You waking up now.
hour, babe, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it run a hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate, separate and segregate. Don't celebrate quite yet, the storm is coming, Q, for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate the values of our country and our God is what they desecrate. Fighters ain't no featherweight, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate, and then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on these streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour and troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpents.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. Need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on, but chose to just neglect it. Deflected by some breaking news, we just accept it. Expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objective, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, blind, not a sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take it on the cheap. Drink from a glass half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome opposition, or I'm gonna start resisting and then I'll pray for forgiveness.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. Need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now. 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 One day, one day, one day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools.